I'll demonstrate how to use variables in Python, but first, I want to briefly talk about naming conventions. There are different options available to you as a developer when it comes to naming your variables. One option is called camel case. The first letter of the first word is lowercase, and the first letter of every word after that is uppercase with no spaces between words. For example, if I have a variable called my name, I'll put the M of my in lowercase and the N of name in uppercase with the rest of the letters in lowercase and no space between the words. I can take a different approach with snake case. When using snake case, you keep everything in lowercase letters, but you use an underscore between words. If I want to make the variable my name would be the result of this approach. Although you have different options as a developer, it's a good idea to be consistent when you are creating variables across your programs. Let me clear the screen so I can begin. I create a variable in Python by initializing a variable and assigning it to value. All I have to do is name the variable. For example, if I type x equals 5, I have declared a variable and assign it a value. I can also print out the value of a variable by calling the print statements and passing in the variable name, which in this case is x, so I type print x. When I run the program, I get the value of 5, which is the assignments as I gave the initial variable. Let me clear my screen again. You have several options when it comes to declaring variables. You can declare any different type of variable in terms of value. For example, x could equal a string called hello. To do this, I type x equals hello. I can then print the value again, run it, and I find the output is the word hello. Behind the scenes, Python automatically assigns the data type for you. You'll learn more about this in an upcoming video on data types. You can declare multiple variables and assign them to a single value as well. For example, making a, b, and c or equal to 10. I do this by typing a equals b equals c equals 10. I print all three values separately. When I click on the Run button again, I find that all three of those assignments have 10 as their value. Again, I clear my screen before I move on to the next example. Yet another option you have is to do multiple assignments. For instance, I type A, B, C, separated by commas equals 1, 2, 3, also separated by commas. In this way, I have assigned each of those values to the corresponding letter. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. To test this out, I can print all three variables. Click Run, and I'll find that the values 1, 2, 3 correspond to the declaration above. Another important point that you should be aware of is variable assignments and how you can change it. A variable is subject to change. Throughout the life cycle of your program, you will make changes to the value or the assignment of the variable itself, so you need to know how to do that. Let's explore another example. I type a equal to 10 and I print that value. After this, I change the value of a to 5 and I print that value too. When I click the Run button, a prints out as 10n on the first line and is 5 on the line below because value is reassigned. Finally, you need to know how to delete a variable. My variable, its value is 10, and I've printed it out. And then on a new line, I type the delete command, or del for short, followed by a space and a letter A, which represents my variable. I then print the variable by using the print function, and then I click the Run button. The value is first given us 10 because the variable still existed, but after the deletion, it shows an error saying that A is not defined. You just covered variable naming conventions. Now you know how to declare a variable and assign its value, and you know how to declare any different type of variable in terms of value. You can declare multiple variables and assign them as single value, and you can do multiple assignments. Finally, you also learned how to delete a variable. That brings us to the end of this video. You can now identify variables and recognize how to use them in Python.